Okay, kindergarten, we are going to be painting this sheet of paper. On the back, you're going to have to write your name. And I want you to write the letter of your art day, A, B, or C. Flip it over. And we are going to use watercolor paints to paint this paper. If you've used watercolor paints before, you understand you have to have water in order for them to work. So we're all going to use the same color. It's going to be a blue-violet kind of color. And I'm taking it straight from the book, Tuesday. This kind of color. Because I like this color, and this color we see a lot in this story. So we're creating art from the story. So this is the color I chose, and this is a little watercolor tray. Normally they come in a box. I just took them out because I just wanted one color. We didn't need all the other colors. Okay, so if you take a dry paintbrush and put it into this paint, it's not going to work. See, I'm putting my finger right in it. It's because it's not wet. You have to put water with it. That's why it's called watercolors. So I have a paintbrush. I dipped it in water. It's not dripping wet. And I'm going to scoop up some paint. And you're going to see it all get liquidy. And I want you to paint your whole paper this color. So you can work going straight across. You could work in like wavy lines, scooped lines. And when you notice your paintbrush is getting dry, that means you have to get it wet again. And I'm going to be coming around. While your paint is wet, I'm going to sprinkle salt on it. And what salt does, it's going to leave a really cool effect. You're not going to see it right away. But the next time you come to art class, I'm going to scrape all that salt off, and it leaves a cool texture on your paper. It kind of looks like bubbles. It absorbs all the water from your paper and leaves a neat mark. So you can see I'm moving pretty fast. Notice how I'm going from one side of my paper to the other. I'm not going all over the place. I'm not painting this way, then this way, then this way. One direction the whole time, keeping my brush nice and neat, no bad hair days. Alright, so now my paper is very wet, so it has to go onto the drying rack. Before you finish though, I want you to double check and make sure. Did you fill the whole paper with paint? Are some of the edges still white? Fill in those edges if they're still white. Make it as beautiful as you can make it. Okay, kindergarten, so my painting is all complete. I've put the salt on it. I've rubbed off as much as I can. And now I'm going to add a fence here in the front, because in the book we see those frogs flying through the sky, and they fly above houses and fences. So I thought it'd be fun to put a fence down here. So what you're going to do, you're going to get a long skinny rectangle, and I'm going to ask you to open your glue bottle, and you're going to put dots, not lots, in the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I want you to put dots in the middle. 4 more dots. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to carefully take it by the edge with your thumb and your finger, flip it over. Now, I don't want you to put it way up high. I want you to bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Don't bring it all the way down. Right about here. And I want you to line it up with the paper. Make it even. Try to get it as straight as you can. So I see a little bit of my painting underneath, and a lot of my painting above it, okay? So this is going to be the bar that goes across our fence. And the next step, I'm going to set this to the side. You're going to get a bigger sheet of violet paper, and you're going to get a stencil. This is going to be like the posts to our fence. So you want to have 3. So I'm going to start here on the end. Please don't start in the middle. Start on the end. Line the bottom of the stencil up with the bottom of the paper. So it shouldn't be like this, or like this, or like this. It lines straight up. And then you want to hold it down, and you want to trace it. And I didn't even need to draw a bottom line because this is already straight down here. So now I'm going to do it again. And one last time. So this only fits 3 on a paper, so you shouldn't have any more than 3. And then you want to cut it out. So thumb goes in the tiny opening, 2 fingers go in the big one, hold it tight. And I'm going to start here at the bottom. And when you start to hit this curve, remember you got to turn your paper, not your scissors. So the paper is what's moving. The scissors are just opening and closing. Now this right here, I can recycle. I don't need that anymore. So now I'm going to get my painting back in front of me, and I have my 3 arches. And now I'm going to glue this. This time, I want you to make a frame of glue. So I come in a little bit from the edge, and I'm just going to trace the shape, just like that. And you want to do that on all 3. So you're going to take it, flip it over, and you're going to place this now, this line, the bottom of this piece, to the bottom of the painted paper. Not the bottom of your purple strip you already put down, but the painted paper. So it's going to go down just like this. This one goes at the very end. This one's going to go right in the middle. And this one's going to go on the other end. And voila, you have a fence. Okay, so now that I have that glued on, I want to add some highlight and some shadow. So highlight means when the light is hitting something and you can tell it's lighter or brighter. And then shadow is when the light is hitting something but it's not really hitting it directly, so it looks a little darker. So in my piece, I think I want to pretend I'm going to put a moon probably up in this corner. So the moon gives off light. So if the moon is in this corner, then the light is going to be on this side of my fence. So I'm going to take a white crayon and I'm just going to draw a line, curved line, on my fence, just like this, so it looks like the light is shining. And I might do a little bit on the straight line behind it on top. Okay, and then I'm going to take a black crayon and I'm going to do the other side with black so it looks like it's in shadow. And you don't need to do a lot with that. That's all you really need. And then I'll put shadow here at the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to make my moon up here, and I'm taking a white crayon right now, but I might want to make it yellow if this white doesn't show up that well. Yeah, the white's not showing up, so I think I want to make it a little yellow. And if you got salt on there, just try to rub it off a little bit. There we go, that looks better. So you could do a full moon, you could do smiley face moon, whatever kind of moon you're into. Okay? Okay, so what I've done is I've started to draw how I thought this story would end, and in my imagination, my frog managed to find a rocket ship and is on his way to the moon. And here's the frog watching him that has to stay behind. So I'm using these things called construction paper crayons. So these are like regular crayons, except the only difference is they show up better on colored paper rather than just white paper. So I want you guys to draw how you thought the story might end, and I want you to color it in with the crayons. Now you can see I outlined my frog in black here because I wanted him to stand out. You can do that or you don't have to. But when we color with crayon, you go back and forth in the same direction. You don't want to do any scribbles. We're past that. And you want to fill in as much space as you can by going slow and taking your time. Okay, so here's my piece all finished. Remember, this is your own picture, what you thought would happen. You're not copying mine. You're not copying off a friend. How you thought the story would end is what you're drawing up here in the sky.